This was One Rifles a few weeks ago, in the final stages of pre-deployment training. They're now in Mali, passing on their infantry skills to the Malian Army. But before leaving, they spent a month at their base in Chepstow, busily preparing for the mission.
The only thing worse than being busy in the army is not being busy. And they're very excited about this particular challenge. It's actually a small deployment, which in some ways is ideal. So it's a fully volunteer force deploying this time, while the rest of us are back in Chepstow and elsewhere training for future operations.
That volunteer force is 21 strong. They've taken over from the Royal Irish Regiment and will spend 6 months putting Malian soldiers through a 10-week infantry training package. One Rifles already has a wealth of experience training foreign forces from its time in Afghanistan. But the two missions are quite different. In Mali, they won't be fighting alongside the troops they've trained. Instead, they'll be launching them forward to fight alongside the French.
We're not there as a combat role, we're there as a mentoring team, so we need to learn languages, how to approach people, how to teach people lessons, and obviously, as you've seen today, how to teach people in a foreign language, and that has to be transferred over. And then, so it's mainly focusing on the teaching aspect and not the combat role.
They've practiced those all-important teaching skills using Fijian soldiers. One acts as an interpreter, translating the lessons. The soldiers say this will be the hardest part of the job.
The language barrier. Definitely going to be tricky, but doing what we've done today, working through an interpreter, getting that kind of practice, seeing the dynamics of how to take a lesson when not everyone understands your lesson, all that preparation will come in handy.
And they are prepared. The soldiers have familiarised themselves with the AK-47, the weapon used by the Malian Army.
They are, a professional organisation. It's not a conscript army, and we will be training people who have been deployed on operations. So we're not starting from the very basics with recruits. We'll be training soldiers who already have a degree of professionalism about them.
The Malian Army has needed that professionalism. Since January, they've been fighting alongside the French in the north of their country, driving out Islamist rebels with links to Al-Qaeda. The situation is unpredictable, and British troops will rarely leave their base.
There is clearly a threat out there, which is why the army's going out to train the Malian army. But it's we've trained to prepare for that, and we've got force protection measures in place with our European partners to make sure that we're well protected at all times.
So British boots remain on the ground in Mali, not in a combat role, but reinforcing another front in the fight against extremism. Charlotte Cross, Forces News, Chepstow.